Quick little video here. Now, I don't know, it must have been about a week ago, I watched this guy named V, and probably most people that have been around YouTube discussion type communities probably have heard this guy from the Skeptic Feminist channel killed his girlfriend, evidently. And then the shitstorm that has blossomed among the anti-SJW community is really interesting. And I also saw, V of course is getting in trouble, and Thunderfoot attacked Sargon because Sargon was in the hangout that V held that was, I saw it when it came up. I watched, 15-20 minutes of it, though maybe a lot of that would have been maybe even in, I didn't watch the whole thing, is the point. And Thunderfoot's attacking Sargon, who evidently is more popular, and evidently Thunderfoot's noticed that. And there's many interesting things about it. Now, real quick, I'll just say, I do think that there is an appropriate angle that is social or political or whatever you want to call it, in terms of relating this to the dude's alleged feminism. I mean, he killed his girlfriend. If he beat his girlfriend up, we probably think there might be, that's not appropriate for a feminist. Killing somebody's not appropriate for a humanist or a liberal, or for that matter, a conservative. Most philosophies officially come down on the side of don't kill people. But I actually think that it is entirely, I would criticize his feminism. Now, I'm not familiar with the guy. I think I might have seen some drama video where they interviewed someone like Eric Hovind or something like that. They looked vaguely familiar. But what I find funny is this back and forth now with Thunderfoot and Sargon, and just in general how many social justice warrior memes these guys will use. So for example, I saw Sargon complaining that Thunderfoot had decontextualized him. And then, I don't know if I'm the only person that's noticed, but this term they love about virtue signaling is nothing but an identification of something they hate, a kind of a microaggression. And V is all upset, how dare people hate him for joking. Do you guys don't think that free speech is so that we have to validate you and make you feel good about what you said? No, free speech is a way for us to find out who the assholes are. By all means, please speak freely, but don't think that we can't think you're an asshole for what you freely said. It's the fact that you freely are allowed to say it is what allows us to judge you by it. If you're repeating something you have to say or you get thrown in prison, then, we don't really have much reason to judge you for it, because we could only judge the reason you did it or not. In other words, since it wouldn't be honest, we couldn't know how much it reflected your thinking. But when you speak freely, you say take humor in something most people don't find humorous, people get to think you're an asshole. And you can whine about it and talk about that was another thing Sargon was saying. It depends. That's the contextualization part. It depends on where you were. I was in a stream that had a title of tabloid. We were there just to do that. So? Okay. And then you did it, then people judged you for what you did. What's wrong with that picture? Oh, they disagree with you. Do you want a safe space? This context that you had, was it supposed to be safe? And it just goes to show the anti-SJWs, it's like they just feel left out of of identifying the abrasiveness of society. And when it really comes down to it, they're part of this modern culture, and they think the same way of, don't decontextualize me, bro. So, anyway, I always think it's funny how people, they defend their right to take a joke, and guess what? You're not in jail for saying the joke. People just think you're an asshole. And free speech goes with free thought. People could think you're an asshole for what you choose to say and how you choose to say it. And so it's much more interesting how Thunderfoot evidently has decided to distance himself from these kinds of vloggers. And or has he? Could it be a plot because he calls them the skeptic community? I don't know of that as the skeptic community. I think the skeptic community is none of the people you guys think about. None of these skeptics are actual philosophical skeptics. And they just, it happens over and over, and the internet accelerates this kind of community forming. But people who think they're part of the undercurrent or don't have mainstream views, they find other people that share those views. They hate on society, they hate on the groupthink of society, and then they bond. They bond over their own similar feelings, and then it's in no time at all. It's like, why didn't you have my back? Why didn't you? Harmful opinions versus TJ. I'm just trying to make a living. We're part of a community. We should stand up behind each other. We should give each other a break. Guys just trying to make a living. See, I really distrust groups. I have found individuals to be easier to deal with. Even a group of 10 individuals, all acting individuals once, gets chaotic. That's easier than 10 groupthink, than a community of people that are all in that warm fuzzy of, we got each other's back, like we're like penguins huddled together. So it's not the kind of Homo sapiens I happen to be. But I've noticed on YouTube, a lot of people, when they think they're in the underground, they don't want to be. And once they get a little pack community, then they're just as groupthinky as the rest. And now we get to watch the anti-SJWs use their little anti-SJW memes on each other, while the Trump flakes run around with their hair on fire. I'm thinking now they can't burn too much to the ground before this is over. We'll see.